And welcome back, Internet. I'm Chimera Complex, and I am bad at City of Heroes. More specifically, Homecoming City of Heroes. And when we last left off, we were investigating a murder of Assisting Officer Fields here. We came to discover that the murder um, was done by agents of Dr. Vazhilok. Um, Honestly, not even sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's how I've always pronounced it. Um, Never really heard anybody else pronounce it, so that's how we're going to pronounce it. Um, Leave a comment if you know how to pronounce it. Break it down for me. Um, we uh, we spoke with him about our discovery, and he requested that we recruit the assistance of a retired hero, and he says that he uses the term retired loosely because she's not even it. She's basically just barely in her 30s or whatever. She just gave up the superhero gig altogether. So we got to convince her to help him uh, basically protect the event that the Vazhilok seem to be wanting to prevent. This event is kind of a benefit production for the survivors of the destruction of Galaxy City. Alright, so we're going to talk to Victoria Manuel. Or we can call her Vicky. So she's not going to help at all. Yeah, she's a diva. That's all right. I can probably handle this by myself anyway. And she does know that some of the people involved with her charity event have already gone missing. I have to defeat 10 of these guys. Um, oh yeah, they're out in the open. So let's get her done. All right, very well placed AoE attacks. So I took care of them pretty handily. Let's beat some more dudes up. Oh, there's a murder victim. Alright, that's just a message that I got my first piece of invention salvage. Invention salvage is what's going to help me later on with the crafting system. Crafting system and the enhancements that I mentioned in previous episodes kind of go hand in hand. Again, it's something, wow, I legit thought she was dead, and she's not. So that's cool. Scared the crap out of me. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to be exploring the enhancements at some point. Just not right now. Right now, I just kind of want to, explore the early game progression because honestly, there is a method of power leveling essentially that I've pretty much stuck to for a very long time now, and I haven't played the early game in a very long time. So this is almost as new an experience for me as it may be for some of you. The only difference is that I do have some uh, lore and game knowledge that I can kind of fall back on. Overkill. All right. Now, got to go back to Officer Fields. I've already completed a mission for him, which means I can call him rather than physically approaching him, which is a good thing because I'm going to go back and do the thing that I forgot to do, and that is train up for level 4, which, if I'm not mistaken, means I'm going to be getting my very first arcane power for my travel. Seeing more and more heroes populate Atlas Park as the morning progresses. It is 10 a.m. here on the East Coast. I'm going to get a new power, more inventory space. Alright, a little message saying that I have new powers to choose from. Now, we didn't explore character creation, but there are several different steps that you take in the process of creating your character. This isn't a game where, traditionally you pick a character class, and then that character class has, these abilities, these passives, and that's it. No, what this game has is archetypes. And within each archetype, you pick a primary power set and a secondary power set. Now, some archetypes have access to some power sets that others do not. However, every archetype has access to a great many different primary and secondary power sets. Scrapper, for example, specifically has access to a number of different melee primary powers, and the secondary power sets are defensive in nature. So they're the kind of the same defensive power sets that you might see for a tanker or a brute. Tankers are what you might think they are. They're tanks. But brutes also serve as tanks, but they have more of a melee damage focus. So all three of these archetypes, Scrapper, Brute, Tanker, they are all melee classes. There are ranged classes that have entirely different sets of powers. Again, if in a later video I kind of explore character creation, character creation in and of itself can literally take hours because it's so customizable. But this little message that I just got basically indicates that I have access to what we call pool powers. Not the kind of pool that you swim in, but more of like a like a car pool. This is a power pool, and every archetype has access to this pool of powers. Now, I specifically, for the sake of concept, want kind of like an arcane kind of situation going on. So I'm going to pick up this sorcery pool. And multiple pools can be taken. I believe that there is a upper limit as to how many pools you can choose from. But generally speaking, for the sake of maximizing your character's effectiveness, you pick maybe one or two different pool powers and you stick with those. So there are a couple of different things that you can choose here. Spirit Ward, kind of like a shield for an ally. It's not something that you use on yourself. Got an Arcane Bolt, which is a ranged attack. And ranged attack for me as a scrapper would come in handy. And this was actually recently revamped for Homecoming specifically. So I may pick that up a little bit later, but the main thing I want right now is my travel, Mystic Flight. Now, within the sorcery pool, Mystic Flight does two things. Put that there. It allows me to fly. I can also teleport. And that definitely comes in handy. I'm actually going to rearrange this a little bit here. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to drag that there. The reason I'm doing that is because this icon you see flashing right now, that's not bound to anything. I don't have any keys bound for that. However, I do have keys bound down here. So down here I can turn my flight on and off quickly. I can also teleport quickly. Okay, I'm just kind of skimming over the text, but if any of you watching are able to read fast enough, you may have noticed that this guy's talking about a note. What will happen during missions is you'll get a clue. You'll get clues throughout the mission. I'm actually skipping over reading them. I looked at one earlier in a previous episode, but for the sake of saving time, I haven't really been looking at them. That's what he's referring to right now. Okay, so we've learned from this note that I failed to acknowledge that Dr. Vazhilok is not, in fact, trying to ruin this charity event. It just so happens that the people involved they just happen to be a quick and ready source of parts for Vazhilok's goals. So the two aren't necessarily related per se. But the note does refer to the murdered guy's brother. So I believe that we will be continuing this arc to rescue him if possible. I've only played this arc like one time, and it was years ago. Okay, maybe I was mistaken. Maybe the brother, Joseph, is in fact in league with the Vazhilok and conducting experiments, apparently. And I guess he's the one that tipped the Vazhilok off to the charity event. And that's how they knew that so many people would be available for kidnapping and murdering and body part stealing. All right. No need to fly down here. Alrighty. And that's how a well-placed AoE works. Okay, there are the hostages I need to rescue. Come on, buddy. There we go. Boom. Got him. And that's why I want to pick up a ranged attack at some point. Alright. Now, the guy's brother must be defeated. Alright, sewer broke away into a cave system. That was a critical hit. That's cool. Okay, I guess I gotta destroy this first. Otherwise he'll be difficult, if not impossible, to defeat. Oh, he hits hard. Alrighty, let's get out of the sewer. Alright, let's call our buddy Ossifer Fields. Okay, so we finished that story arc, and this guy is sending me to a specific contact. Alright, so being introduced to Aaron Theory. He is an agent of Seraph, whereas Magi is a agency that deals with like the arcane and magical stuff. Seraph is on the opposite end of that spectrum, and they investigate, you know, scientific threats. Take off here, and I think it's time to train up. Again, at this level, the enhancement slots don't even really matter all that much. It isn't until you're much higher level. All right. And this is something else that'll happen. As I mentioned before, there are a number of different ways uh, to come into contact with your contacts, your quest or mission givers. We've already seen this is the second example. The first example is when you are introduced to a contact through uh, the contact that you're currently working with. When you finish their story arc, they introduce you to a new contact. As the game progresses, there are contacts that are just kind of out there, and there's an interface option that you can actually use to just kind of get a list of currently available contacts based on your character level. This is another example. At certain levels, specific contacts will come up. The twin shot story arc, it's kind of long and involved, and I'm not a fan of it. It introduces a lot of key characters that you see throughout the rest of the game, but at the same time, those key characters are kind of insignificant. Like when they do pop up, it's just kind of like, oh, hey, that character is there. And if you don't know who they are, it doesn't even matter. So, so Twin Shot, they're telling me where Twin Shot is. I already know where she is. She's right over here, right there. But I want to talk to this guy instead, Aaron Theory, and we are going to speak to him on our next episode. And I'll see you there.